I was myself. I was like so worried I was going to tip the loader off the edge or hit the plant. But you were a very good teacher. You helped a lot. 70, 170, 185, 200. Oh my, 200 exactly.
We aren't just going to geek out over the heavy machinery, we're actually stepping right into the boots of Tyler Mahoney as she takes on this rugged, completely unforgiving terrain for the very first time. If you've ever wondered what it actually feels like to battle your own nerves while operating tons of steel on the edge of a cliff, well, you're in the right place. Let's get right into it. And honestly, I want to kick things off right here with this incredibly raw quote. "If I roll this loader, oh my." You can literally feel the panic radiating through those words, right? This isn't just about moving some dirt around. It is about life or death physics. Operating heavy machinery in an unfamiliar, super steep environment comes with very real, terrifying physical stakes. One tiny wrong move, just a split-second lapse in concentration, and thousands of pounds of steel could go tumbling. It perfectly captures the raw fear and the massive learning curve we're going to explore today. All right, part 1, the high-stakes gold blitz. So 27-year-old Parker Schnabel is on what can only be described as an absolute tear right now. He is trying to mine more ground than he ever has before. We're talking about clearing a 90-acre stretch on the Klondike all the way down to the Goldridge Pay Dirt. And if that wasn't enough pressure for one season, he is simultaneously trying to open a brand new claim 300 miles west in Alaska. By their own admission, they definitely bit off a little more than they could chew this year. The sheer volume of work they're facing is just staggering.
Because they took on so much, they're dealing with a total logistical nightmare, a split crew reality. On one side, the bulk of the team is completely tied up just stripping the ground to prep it. On the other side, you've got a literal skeleton crew trying to actually run the pay dirt from their primary gold-bearing trench, the Keyhole Cut. This operation is stretched so incredibly thin. I mean, the skeleton crew is handling the lifeblood of the operation, but they barely have the manpower to keep the machines fed. Bringing in outside help wasn't just a nice-to-have, they absolutely needed it to survive the season.
Moving on to part 2, a fish out of water. Enter Tyler Mahoney. Parker called in his old friend all the way from Australia to help out. She was actually supposed to go to Alaska, but they desperately needed her right now on the Indian River in the Yukon. And her mindset when she arrives? It says it all. I feel like a little bit of a fish out of water. This is going to be a huge learning curve for me. Tyler is a super experienced miner back home, but she is completely vulnerable here. The Yukon is a totally different beast, a completely different style of mining. She has to adapt immediately. There's no cozy orientation week here. The pressure is on from minute 1. Part 3, mastering the steep ramps. So her very first task is honestly terrifying, getting behind the controls of this massive heavy machinery. And her biggest, most gripping fear? Rolling a rock truck. This isn't just about the intense physical danger, though that's huge. It's also about the massive professional embarrassment of making a fatal mistake on your very first day. She admits she's actually rolled a truck before in her career, and the anxiety of doing it again in front of a brand new crew is just eating at her. The real technical hurdle starts the second she climbs into the cab. Driving this loader is nothing like driving a car. Instead of just instinctively turning a steering wheel, she is forced to rely on what she calls bloody hydraulics, these complex left, right, forward, and reverse levers. She is constantly fighting her own muscle memory, reaching for a wheel that simply isn't there. When you're operating on treacherous, steep terrain, fighting your own instincts like that is mentally exhausting and honestly incredibly dangerous. And the terrain is completely unforgiving. Just listen to this instruction she gets from Chris. You're going to start out looking over the top of the bucket and then looking under. Think about the crazy physics of that for a second. You are driving a ridiculously heavy machine up a massive incline. As you climb, your entire field of vision shifts completely to the sky. You have to actively raise the bucket just to balance the machine, all while making sure it's completely full of dirt so you don't look like a rookie to the crew. It is a pure masterclass in holding your nerve. Part 4, the pre-wash rock crisis. Now, consider this. How in the world does a simple, everyday rock manage to shut down a massive 200-yard-per-hour wash plant? It seems totally counterintuitive, right? You have these gigantic metal beasts designed to chew through literal mountains of earth, and yet one tiny, simple object can cause a catastrophic shutdown. Let's break down exactly how this happens. Okay, here is the anatomy of a jam at their main machine, Big Red. Step 1, somehow, big rocks manage to slip through the grizzly bars. Those are the heavy steel grates that are supposed to filter out boulders.
Step 2, those stray rocks make their way inside and perfectly plug up the tiny pre-wash water jets. Because Big Red's pre-wash is actually pretty small, it literally only takes a couple of these rocks to cause a major jam. Step 3, without the high-pressure water washing the material away, the dirt instantly piles up, and Big Red's main shaker deck gets completely buried under tons of heavy material. It happens in a flash. But this brings us to a massive win for Tyler. Listen to what the crew said. "You have a matter of seconds until the pre-wash is pretty much buried. Didn't even have to break out a shovel." Because Tyler was on high alert, fighting through her nerves and keeping her eyes everywhere, she caught the pre-wash plugging up almost instantly. The pileup was small enough that they could just leave the water jets running to flush out the blockage, instead of shutting down the entire plant and spending hours digging it out by hand. Her sharp eyes literally saved the day. Because of that super quick save, the wash plant avoids total disaster and goes right back to running its maximum capacity, 200 yards of gold-rich pay dirt every single hour. In this business, keeping that plant fed at 200 yards an hour is quite literally the only way this skeleton crew is going to survive the blitz. Which brings us to part 5, a massive gold payoff. To really understand how well the crew did, we need a baseline. The Keyhole Cut has been averaging about 175 ounces of gold a week. That's the baseline expectation. That is the magic number they need to beat just to justify all this intense labor and the massive risk Parker is taking by stretching everyone so thin. So the gold is poured onto the scale, and the very first number called out is 200. Exactly 200 ounces. Instantly, you can just feel the tension break. The first pour alone beats their weekly average of 175 ounces. But what's truly mind-blowing here is that this 200 ounces is only part A of the week's cleanup. There is a whole second bowl of gold just waiting to be weighed. And the numbers just keep climbing to 10 to 40, and it finally settles on a jaw-dropping combined total, 485.95 ounces. They didn't just beat their average, they absolutely shattered all weekly expectations. And guys, this is the direct result of keeping that 200-yard-per-hour plant fed, overcoming those brutal learning curves, and catching fatal plant jams before they happen. Just to put that staggering weight into perspective, almost 450 ounces of gold translates to a season's best haul worth over $800,000. $800,000 in a single week from a skeleton crew. It is an incredible payoff that completely validates all the grueling work, the terrifyingly steep ramps, and the anxiety of learning heavy hydraulics on the fly. Which leaves us with this final massive question. We've seen how Tyler handled the Yukon, battling her own instincts in the loader and saving the wash plant from total catastrophe. But remember, her true destination is Parker's brand new claim. So when the stakes are literal mountains of dirt and $800,000 weekly hauls, what is Tyler's next learning curve going to look like when she finally heads 300 miles west into total unknown territory? I really hope this explainer gave you a fantastic look at the gritty realities of massive scale mining. Keep learning, keep questioning, and I'll catch you in the next